You've got the time it takes to run the intro music to guess which player we sold for £500,000 just before the transfer window closed. Get your answers down in the comments, and no cheating, I'll know. Hello and welcome to Season 5 Part 2 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we're away against the Tottenham U23s in the Mickey Mouse Cup, just because, you know, we did Arsenal last year, why not do Spurs this year? And then we've got a league game. Since you were last with me, things have been going okay. We've got a nice little mix of red and green. We just had a 4-1 win against our former parent club when we were at Gainsborough, Scunthorpe. Martel Taylor Rochdale is back in the side and is a revelation. If we have a look at his stats, 4 goals in 5 games, averaging a 7.52, 2 Man of the Match awards. Clearly, he's enjoying the step up to League One, and yeah, it's just as well because none of the other strikers are scoring any goals, which is a bit of a problem. We have done some more transfer business though, which I may have alluded to in the intro to today's episode. And I know you didn't guess right. If you're claiming you did guess right, you are cheating, because I forgot this player existed. You forgot he existed as well. If you did get it right, you get 5 Kev points. We sold John McDonald to Huddersfield for £500,000. Who on earth is John McDonald, I hear you cry? John McDonald is the centre-back that we signed on a free transfer from Man City last summer, promptly sent out on loan to Tranmere for the year, where he was entirely unspectacular playing in the conference. He came back, made 1 substitute appearance for us, which was also entirely unspectacular, and then someone came in, it might even have been Huddersfield, came in and offered like £100,000 for him. I said no, because Huddersfield are offering £100,000 for him. There must be something there. He kicked off, demanded a transfer. I said I'd let him, after a big back and forth argument, I agreed to let him go, and about 30 clubs came in for him. So I just said, well, I started at £750,000. Everyone said no, apart from Huddersfield, who negotiated me down to £500,000. So at that point, I started saying yes at £500,000. A couple of clubs met the asking price, but he ended up going to the team that kicked it all off. And suddenly, we had an extra £500,000 to spend for selling our 4th choice centre-back. Now, I realise he was probably going to go on to be awesome. That's why they've spent so much money on him. Perhaps we should have given him a bit of a chance. And we probably would have done this season if this hadn't all kicked off the way it had. He was in our first team squad. He'd made a substitute appearance. He would have been involved at some point. As it is, he's moved on to Huddersfield. We had a bit of money to spend, and we've used it on solving one of the big problems we had in the squad. Now, I realise we've massively overspent on this player, but we needed a right back, and I couldn't find one anywhere for any kind of reasonable price. So we've brought in Josh Grant, who's a 21-year-old who can play anywhere across the back four. He came in from Portsmouth. His natural position is at right back, but he can also play centre back and left back as well if needed. 3-star current ability, 5-star potential ability. He is I thought he was considerably better than George Fowler. He was supposed to be when we brought him in, but, you know, potential and all that. And he's been at Portsmouth for the last 3 years, after they picked him up on a free transfer from Chelsea. Sorry, the last 2 years. He's just played a couple of games this season, obviously. Yes, I know we've spent about £200,000 too much on him, but as you can see from the date that the transfer went through, I was getting a bit desperate. We were a defender down. We needed cover at centre-back and we needed a new right-back, and Josh Grant fills both of those holes, and yeah, we've spent pretty much all the money that we got for John McDonald. So it's effectively a straight swap, plus we got £100,000 in the bank. And I think if we do a little comparison on the two of them, I never do this, but let's have a little look at a comparison. I think we've got the better of the deal. That doesn't tell us... Oh, that's pretty. I've never seen a pretty graph before. It doesn't help me much because I'm colourblind. But that tells me that Grant is faster. And pretty much, you know what? He's better everywhere apart from mental and technical. And we don't care about mental and technical. He's bigger. He's heavier. He's right-footed rather than left-footed. So, you know, normal. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that piece of business. I know I've paid too much. I'm sure you'll tell me anyway. A couple of you also asked where our pre-season prediction was in the league. I forgot to show you in the last episode, so I'll show you that now. As you would expect from a newly promoted team, we're expected to be battling for in a relegation battle, but just escaping. So it's a prediction of 19th, and we're above that at the moment. We've had a nice little start. We're currently sat in 9th place. Don't read anything into that too much. We're not going to be challenging for promotion this year. Although Taylor Crossdale's second top scorer in the division, Wordsworth's second on average ratings. Taylor Crossdale he's got the highest man of the match award. So we're doing all right. We've had quite a fancy start for a newly promoted club, but if we end up finishing anywhere near the 9th place position we're in at the moment, I will be a happy chappy. So anyway, enough of that preamble. This is the team that we're going to be playing away against the Tottenham youth team. We're going to have Ted Smith in goal, a back four of Keneally, Anderson, Jackson and new boy Josh Grant. We're playing Keneally at left back because Rob Tomelty, who I don't remember if I let you know that he's on loan for another year, he's injured with a broken nose, presumably because someone tackled him, because he tackled someone too hard, got himself a yellow card and then a punch in the face as compensation for it. Ellis Plummer, who would be another option to drop in at left back, is also injured. Luckily, Keneally can go across there. We know Josh Grant can play there as well, so we had a few options. We'll play the older of the two at left back today. But it might be somewhere where Grant deputises during Tomelty's many suspensions it will have over the course of the season. Then in midfield, we've got Harry Hamblin playing as the ball-winning midfielder. He's the lad who we've got in on loan from Southampton, and he's been playing in this position pretty much. He dropped in since Aaron Cole got suspended on the first day of the season for his red card. He's done really well there. That's his position now. We've got Wordsworth and Cole either side of him, and I think with Benteke at the point of that little triangle. It's not a diamond, it's a triangle. But I think that's a real top quality four-man midfield if they can all stay fit and not suspended. And then we've got the rejuvenated Taylor Crossdale up front with Raquel Pike, who needs to learn how to play in League One. Hopefully, playing against a youth team will be enough to sort of spark him into life. He'll bag a couple of goals today, and then he'll be back to the same Pike that we know from last season. Right, who do we know in this Spurs team? Not many of them. I mean, that isn't anywhere near as scary as the Arsenal team we played against last year was. There's a couple of familiar names in there, but I think Arsenal last year had Wilshere and Cazorla, and did they have Welbeck in the team as well? And it was a ridiculous team that obviously absolutely thumped us. Oh, we're playing at New White Hart Lane. They've got a new ground. That's happening in real life, isn't it? I'm acting all excited. Is that really what they're going to call it in real life? New White Hart Lane? That's a bit unimaginative. And we're 1-0 down after 12 minutes. And, yeah. I mean, what do you expect in the team in the match against the big team? Looking at the Checker Trade Trophy, previous winners and teams who make decent progress in it, it is the Premier League under-23 teams who are dominating this trophy. It's exactly what everyone feared was going to happen in real life when they made a mockery of this once great competition. It was never a great competition, apart from the posh one. Then it was awesome. But obviously the Premier League youth teams are dominating it, and us little folk are just pootling around and getting knocked out in the quarterfinals if we make it that far. I'd like to think we can make it out of our group this time round. We should be better than Wimbledon and Ebbsfleet, but it depends how severely we get tonked today in the first game, because it might just knock the stuffing out of us. And because of the way the group is, if you're only playing each team once, obviously we're going to lose today. If we then lose the next game against whoever it is, we're out effectively. So it would be nice to be able to get something out of this game. I mean, we're dominating possession and neither team's having much in the way of shots, but now they've got the opportunity to go 2-0 up with a penalty before half time, and I'm not feeling particularly confident at the moment. Wimbledon and Ebbsfleet are both League 2 teams, so if we can't beat both of them, bearing in mind that's the league that we've just won, then I don't know what's going on, especially because we've looked quite good in the league on and off. We have good games and bad games, which is only to be expected from a newly promoted team that hasn't strengthened as much as I would ordinarily like to. We're still very much a League 2 team, playing out of our depth a little bit, which means confidence is key, and confidence and morale, and that we're having the morale battered out of us already by just being completely outclassed by a team that we shouldn't have to play, because this competition is stupid. The Premier League teams get the option to withdraw from it. We should get the option to withdraw from it as well. I don't know if they have the option to withdraw in-game, actually. I know they do in real life, which is why it was even sillier in real life this year when it ended up being Championship under-23 teams in there as well, because not all the Premier League teams wanted to play, and good on them. No, everyone should have refused. And just, yeah, Mockery. Nonsense. Right, we've got a nice little bit of possession going on here at the moment, which if you look at the stats, we've had nice possession throughout the whole game. We're just not doing much with it. Benteke finally gets a shot away, and that's our first clear-cut chance of the game. I don't know if we've got enough oomph to get back into this, but it is nice to see us keeping hold of the ball against what should be a technically much better side than we are, albeit a little bit younger, less experienced, less physical maybe. And I do mean they're only a little bit younger, because we've got a lot of young players in our team, the likes of Taylor Crossdale. I mean, he's still only 20 years old. Rochdale Pike. Oh, Pike and Taylor Crossdale have both just hit opposite posts to each other. It should be 2-1. We're up to 2 clear-cut chances now. We're playing quite well, but quite well isn't getting the job done. We're going to bring Schiavi on, and we're going to bring on George Fowler and switch Grant over to left-back, because Seamus Keneally is not having the best of times out there. As you can see, Grant's not particularly natural out there at left-back. We do need Tamelty back ASAP, which isn't ideal when he's going to spend a quarter of the season suspended like he did last year. It's not ideal not having a backup for him, but I could only afford one full-back, and we were in greater need of getting a proper right-back than left-back, I think. Right, let's get Pike off as well. The strikers haven't really had the opportunity to impress today. Yes, there's been those 2 clear-cut chances. Pike and Taylor Crossdale were both very unlucky to hit the post, but other than that, not much being given away by this young Spurs team today. And Benteke looks shattered. The ball's just sort of bounced off him a little bit there. And Spurs are in again. Ted Smith makes a good save. 4,500 people here is not bad for this silly little competition. You'd think there'd be a few more Southend fans who make the trip just to have a look at the new ground. I'd probably go and have a look if I was a Southend fan. It's not that far to go, is it? But then I suppose you're on a hiding to nothing. You're going to a Premier League team, but they're not going to have any of their stars, but they're still going to be good enough to thrash you. It's all the romance of it takes out all the romance of a big away tie in the FA Cup where you get to go and see the stars and get thumped and you don't really care. You go and get thumped and you don't know who you're getting thumped by, and in 5 years' time some of them might end up playing for Norwich when they win the Championship. Oh yeah, I remember him scoring against us. Yeah, who cares? And there we go. We've lost 3-0. Luckily it looks like Wimbledon and Ebbsfleet have only drawn, so we should still have a comfortable route out of the group by just taking care of both of them and taking hold of second place. But there you go. That was Spurs under-23s. Write those names down. See if you see them again in 5 years' time when we're up in the Premier League with them. Right, a couple of changes for the Rochdale game. 3 in total, I think. We're going to give Norberto Miguel a go in goal, because you lot all hate Ted Smith. So we'll give the young Man United loanee a go. We gave him a little try a couple of weeks ago and he did all right. We'll try him again now. We'll keep dripping him in every now and again, and if he ends up looking better, then we'll play him more regularly. This is your opportunity to tell me what you think of him. He'll concede 5 goals today, and then we'll hear no more of this Ted Smith negativity. Tamelty also comes back into the side at left back. He's recovered from his punch to the face, so Keneally drops down to the bench, and we've swapped Jack Marriott over with Rochdale Pike. We're trying to find a partner for Taylor Crossdale because the other 3 strikers have all been useless. We know Schiavi and Crossdale don't really play well together because they both want to be that poacher. So that's not ideal because Schiavi's the one who has experience of scoring goals at this level. So we might need to find a way to play the 3 of them together. We did play a 3 up front a little while ago. 2-3 games ago. It's not that long ago. It was 2 days ago in real life, because Benteke picked up a knock, so we just stuck Schiavi and Taylor Crossdale up front with Pike, and that worked quite well. I don't know if it's something I'd want to do all the time though, especially because it kind of means Jonathan Benteke doesn't get in the side, and he was the League 2 Player of the Year last year and was brilliant for us, so we don't really want to be dropping him. I suppose you could go back and play in the midfield 3, but then which of those do you drop? Because all 3 of them are performing very well at the moment. Right, cool to Benteke, and there's a chance for a Rochdale break here because they've got in behind us. Let's see what Josh Grant's made of. I mean, he managed to force them back a little bit. I don't know how much of it was him forcing and how much of them was just them being indecisive, but Taylor Crossdale has drawn a foul out of the Rochdale players, picked up his second yellow card, and they are down to 10 men after 28 minutes. That'll do. Jackson's in from the free kick. A beautiful Wordsworth free kick. I mean, such a long-range pass. That was a pass from inside our own half, wasn't it? Let's have a look at it on the replay. Oh, it's just inside their half. But what a delivery. And Adam Jackson knew exactly where it was going to end up, got himself in a great position. That is a good finish for a centre-back on the half volley, weaker foot, maybe. I'm assuming he's right-footed. I mean, that's just a well-worked set piece. And look at you can't see it, hold on. Weird formation that Rochdale are playing. I don't really get that, but they've changed it again now. And they've gone to, hold on. Not quite so weird, but very defensive. They're not going to score. They're not going to score many goals set up like that, are they? They're afraid of us. Look at this. If it stays like this, we're up in a playoff position, which is nonsense, really. We're obviously not going to stay up at playoff kind of level, but it is nice to carry a bit of our form from last year into the new season and have a nice start, get some points on the board early on, because when the poor run of form comes, which it will, we've got that little bit of a cushion to play with. And if we do manage to squeeze out the win in this game, that's 10 points on the board by early September, which is very nice indeed. Right, let's swap both for strikers again. Let's try Pike and Schiavi. We need a strike partnership that's going to work. Perhaps I should have spent some of the money that we got in for, I don't even know his name, the lad who went to Huddersfield, McDonald, maybe? Perhaps we should have spent some of that money on a striker, tried to get a striker in on loan. I think really when we had a 60-goal strike partnership last year, it's fair enough to want to give them a try together until at least Christmas, with the youngster coming through as well and the new guy coming in shape of Marriott, but none of them seem to be working. Schiavi's in here. Can he square it to Pike? He doesn't need to. Schiavi tucks it away himself. It's his first goal of the season, hopefully the first of many. We're now 2-0 up with 15 minutes to go. Schiavi was on the floor when that move started, and he used serious amounts of pace and strength to shove their guy off the ball, run past him, and that is a nice, tidy little finish. I said he had previous for scoring in this league, and he is demonstrating that there. But you just saw it. Don't need an eloquent finish to that sentence. It was self-explanatory. Right, Cool plays it forward to Schiavi. You can't get onto the ball, but Cool's got it again over the top to Schiavi. He's in a second time. This time probably took the shot on a little bit too early. Didn't increase the angle enough for himself. Don't know what this is. You didn't even see that. Didn't need to show you. It was off camera. But that's the new sign for angle, apparently. I'm happy with a 2-0. If we can hold on to a win here, this suddenly becomes an excellent start to the season, and we can start talking in terms of crazy fantasies. Right, Benteke is not playing well, but we don't have Cragen on the bench today, and we've already brought on both the strikers, so we're not going to bring him off. We'll take off Hamblin instead, and we'll have another look at young Stefan Broccoli, who he's been around the club since before I arrived. He'll be here forever because he's got a funny name. And if I ever do buy a pink Southend shirt, it's going to have 28 Broccoli on the back, so he can't leave ever. And this is the ideal opportunity to get him on. We're 2-0 up. They're down to 10 men. We've picked up a very important away win. We're on 10 points. We're up into 6th place. Only 4 points off the top of the table. And we haven't started scoring goals yet. See, it's all coming together. If you've enjoyed that, make sure you pop a like on there for me. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more. And thanks very much for watching.